Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast for Barometrics. Today, we're very fortunate to have Les Meehan join us. And Les is someone who has extensive knowledge and experience that he's willing to share, which is fantastic. He's had massive personal and business success. In fact, you could say that his story reads like a roll of honor achievement across the fields of arts and publishing and business. From our point of view, though, what's important is he has broad knowledge and keen understanding of a very important matter when it comes to trading, and that is how our psychology can either support or sabotage our efforts to achieve our desired success. Now, I'm a real keen follower of psychology. I believe it is one of the three legs of the pyramids for success, which is method, money, and mind, which is Les' area of expertise. In particular, his focus is on what he calls deep mind success coaching and therapy. And with it, he gives his clients over 40 years of accumulated skills in the area of psychology, mind, body, energy, perception, creativity, and includes lifelong involvement with the martial arts training. Now, as a result, he's able to provide a unique perspective on the life and business challenges facing his various clients. Now, all theories have guiding principles, and this is no less true for deep mind success and coaching. Les's guiding principle is respect for one's individuality and uniqueness. He recognizes that no one solution fits all people. He believes in continued development and improvement, so he continues to study wildly, and this allows him to choose and utilize the very best proven methodologies. That's why he's able to root out and resolve his clients' individual deep-seated success inhibitors, whether to achieve a desired individual ambition or to drive their business and trading success. In our chat prior to the podcast, Les stated that he's been in awe of the many times he's seen his trading and coaching methods bring about profound and often life-changing experiences to his individual clients. Today, we're focusing on his experiences in assisting traders to achieve their dreams. So let's welcome Les and start by asking the question, Les, how and why did you become a trading coach?
Okay, hi Ray, and thanks very much for having me on here. It's a real honor for me. So just going straight to that question then, I've always been a trainer, a teacher, and a coach. And a few years back, during my corporate coaching, I started getting into trading myself. And I was absolutely amazed at even somebody with my background in coaching and control and martial arts and emotional control, how quickly, as a newbie, A, I lost money, but B, it was because of my emotions. My emotions just completely taking over the trading activities. And it was just amazing how emotional the whole experience was. Even though I used my coaching knowledge and techniques to help me get through it very quickly, that first experience really hit home with me. And not long after that, I was at a networking event where I met a well-known professional trader. I didn't know he was well-known at the time, but since working with him since, I've got to know him quite well and know he's very well known, and he had a mentorship program. So we had an interesting discussion about trading psychology and how important that was to people. And this particular trader introduced me to a few of his clients who were struggling, and I helped them with the coaching and move them forward fairly quickly. So I saw there that there was a need for coaching, and decided to devote a lot of my time to helping traders develop their coaching mindset. Because of that experience I'd had, I knew that no matter how good your background was, trading seems to trigger all sorts of things that you just thought were not even there. So since then, I've launched the rightmindtrader.com Academy and developed some programs, and I do one-to-one coaching. So that's how I got into being a trading coach, as a development from my other coaching activities.
Okay, so I just didn't get in your answer how long you've been at the trading side of it, Liz.
I've been doing the trading side for about 5 years.
Cool.
But I've been coaching for life.
Fair enough. Great. I guess one of the questions that always comes up is, what's the biggest challenge for a trading coach?
Yeah, that's a great question. It became clear early on for me that the biggest challenge as a trading coach was getting people to understand the importance of working on their trading psychology. So I guess the biggest challenge is educating traders more on the need to get their mind in the right place as soon as possible, and hopefully before they lose too much money. So for me, that's one challenge, is actually getting traders to realize, even though they're experiencing all that emotional stuff themselves, getting them to realize that there is a solution, and the solution is usually an external intervention to help them pass those initial stages.
Okay, so would you say then, in your experience, that the coach it's an absolute essential element in a person's success?
I would say yes, and I would say that generally. I think generally in life, and I know you're a great advocate of goal setting and outcomes and so on, and the importance of coaching, and every successful person has coaching at some point, whether it's a career success, whether it's a business success. I myself have a coach. In fact, I have a coach and a mentor for my own personal development. I'm a member of a mastermind group. So I think coaching is a vital element for anybody trying to achieve in their life, no matter whether it's in trading, in career, in sport, or whatever. And let's face it, most professional sports people don't exist without their trainer or their psychology coach. You know? So yeah, I think coaching is vital, and I wish actually more traders would grasp that idea early on so that they could get more success quicker.
Yes, I agree. One of the challenges that I see, apart from getting people to recognize that coaching is essential, for some reason, traders come into this game thinking, I don't need any experience. I don't need any knowledge. I'll just get in front of the screen and make a ton of money. The other thing that I do find is that newbie traders get to a point where they acquire some knowledge, but they don't do what they know, if you know what I mean. They say, okay, I've got to follow a plan. I've got to have a risk management system. But when it comes, as you were saying, they suddenly start to trade, and all the emotional, what I call the 3 Fs, fight, flight, or fear, come into being, and they just blow it. They just don't do what they know. Do you have any suggestions for our listeners that might be able to put them on the right track?
You're absolutely right. Converting knowledge into a real skill really requires a person to take sustained action to develop the skill. And that's the key word, is action. I guess we all know that knowing something and being able to do it are not the same thing. And I believe this has to do with the person having doubts quite often that they will actually be able to perform the skill at the required level. Unfortunately, the only way to develop any new skill is to start doing it, and then keep doing it and overcome any of the learning challenges along the way. I mean, we all know nobody gets good at anything without practice, and that can only happen by pushing outside your comfort zone and trying that new thing. And it's important not to be put off with just 1 or 2 attempts that might not succeed. You just have to keep developing that skill step by small step. You can't hope to run in the Olympics without actually doing all those years of training first. And I think the same thing applies in trading. I think the skills that a trader needs, practical skills, need work. And I know that's a dirty 4-letter word to a lot of people. But it isn't just sit down, launch this wonderful trading system, and you're going to make a ton of money, like you said. It's about being serious, being professional, and taking this as a skill development process. And that includes your mind as well as your trading skills. So the advice I would say is you've got to take that first step outside your comfort zone. Even though you might not get it first time, you will get it eventually if you keep practicing in the right way.
Okay, so if I can just paraphrase what you said, I think what you said is really, really important. It doesn't matter how often you get hit and how often you fall down. It's the ability to get up off the ground and keep pushing forward that's going to take them from an unsuccessful trader to a successful one. But would you agree with that summary? Is that fair?
Definitely agree with that. You've got to keep pushing yourself forward, overcome those challenges, because you never know at what point you're going to get that aha moment where the whole thing becomes built into your psyche. You know, cool. when it becomes unconscious skill. Okay,
so we're on agreement here that running away from the pain of losses isn't going to get you to become successful. You got to just keep getting up and keep trying and improving and finding out where you are. You have to change. You have to move outside your comfort zone to change what is not working, right?
Absolutely. You've got to recognize what's not working and be prepared to change it. Not just keep repeating the same mistakes. And I think I certainly learned that in the early days. I was just repeating the same mistake. You know, instead of cutting a trade, I was adding to it or moving the stop. I just kept repeating. And it was kind of like, this is crazy because this is not the solution.
Exactly. It's amazing how many people just keep doing the same thing over and over again and they want a different result, as Einstein said. Mate, one of the things that I've always been interested in is the trader's past. What sort of influence do you think it has on his trading?
Well, I certainly believe a person's past influences their trading, and I say that from my own personal experience with traders now, and with other clients as well. Your present is a result of your past. Okay. And when I work with a trader, one of the things I ask is, you know, what's behind that behavior? And then we start digging. And it's incredible how often the digging starts going backwards in time to that person's past and to things that happened to them as a child, or influences when they were a child. I'll give you a case study example here. I have a trader who's developed quite a successful robot system, but the person was afraid to use the robot in a live environment, even though all the data, the back testing data and the demo testing data proved it would work, because in their past, they were told, and this was a female, they were told in their male-dominated world that women weren't supposed to succeed financially at business. Okay. And that was stopping this person succeeding financially at business. So certainly, most of the time, there are past issues that are influencing what's going on in the trading today for a person.
Right, and this goes back to what you were saying earlier. That's why that coach is so essential, just apart from the normal common sense, whether you're playing tennis or soccer, whatever, everybody's got a coach. That in trading, you've got that additional aspect where past behavior keeps influencing our current trading habits. So the coach is absolutely critical there. Would you agree with that?
I would absolutely agree with that. And one of the good things about a coach, as opposed to your friends and relatives, is that the coach will ask the hard questions, because that's the coach's job, is to ask the questions that need to be asked. We're not there to make you feel good, although obviously we're not there to make somebody feel bad. But at the same time, we're there to get to the truth behind what's going on. And also create an environment for a person whereby they can feel that they can share their innermost secrets. But a lot of the time, they don't even know the issue that's causing the problem until they work with a coach and dig into it and uncover it, because it's so deep in their unconscious mind that they're not even aware it's there until you start the digging process, that detective work. Right. So absolutely, working with an external coach, somebody who's only got your interests at heart, no other agenda, I think is a crucial step for every trader. And the sooner they do it, the better for them, for me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Turning to, let's put it this way, what do you think is the single most, what do you think has the most impact on the trader's results? If I wanted to improve my trading results, what would be the thing that I should look for or look to do?
Well, I would certainly say you've got to look at your behaviors, and particularly those behaviors that are being driven by emotion. Because as we know as coaches, once your emotional mind has taken over a person, their behaviors are no longer rational. But it's the behaviors that are going to determine the results.
Yes.
And whatever emotions are boiling under the surface are going to influence that behavior, which will influence that result. So as far as I'm concerned, the thing that's going to have the most impact are those emotionally driven behaviors, not the ones where you're calm and cool and you're just trading and everything's fine, which is a great place to be and where we want everybody to be in trading. But those times when your heart's racing, your palms are sweating, and those are clear physical signs that something is going on there that needs to be looked at. And that is where I think most traders get the most negative impact, is that emotional stuff that's going on, creating those behaviors. And to be quite honest, with my work, most of the time, there's some level of fear involved in that.
Sure. Les, what do you think about, one of the things that I'm fairly large on is traders keeping both a psych and an equity journal, whether they do that in one document or whether they separate it. What's your view on keeping say a psych journal?
I think it's absolutely essential. I think certainly having a record of your trades is essential. And one aspect I work with clients on that is to get them to use some kind of screen recording software while they're trading. So actually they can record the trade live and then do a narration over the top. So they actually get a video and audio journal of the real trading that's going on, which they can then replay at their leisure and learn from. And it's quite amazing how, when we analyze those videos, how much is in there that the person doesn't realize was going on. So if they just narrate their thoughts as they're trading, say what they're feeling, so on. But equally, I'm a great believer in the written word. And I think putting pen to paper connects you in a kind of deep way to what you're thinking, what you're feeling. So I think journaling in general is a great way to almost like do a mind dump, where you put it down on paper, your experiences and so on, and allows you to reconnect with them, analyze them, and then learn from them so that you can then change. And that subtle process of change, I think, goes on very well when people journal regularly.
Yeah.
So you've got two sides of that, is as you said, getting the trading journal and having that kind of personality, emotional journey journal as well.
Right. Tell me, mate, because this is something I love. I have great difficulty. I do a little bit of coaching, as you know. I have great difficulty in getting my people to actually either write it down or keep a video recording of it. Do you have any tips on how they can make it easier for themselves?
Yeah, it's a tough one, and it's a challenge that I face a lot. So I'm in agreement with you there. It's difficult to get people to do the things that are going to help them, and I think that's part of being in that trap of comfort mind thinking, where it's like, will I be any good at it? How will I look on video if I do a video of myself? Or this kind of thing going on. So the kind of tip I usually give them is to say, look, the only way to do it is just to try it once. And if it doesn't work, fine, because I'm only interested in what works for that person. And if they're too uncomfortable with something, then they're just not going to do it. Yeah. But I know from my own experience, the first time I did the very first video of myself, I was horrified by what I was seeing on the video, which was me. Even though you see yourself in the mirror every day, it was kind of like, oh my goodness, is that how I look on video? But now, a couple of hundred videos later, I'm not bothered at all. And that's what I would say to anybody in that situation. You've just got to do it the once and work through any reluctance that's with it. And if necessary, do it with somebody, with your coach. Mm-hmm. First time. If you need the support and the encouragement, do it with somebody that can give you that and who understands what you're going through. That's the best tip. I know it's a bit glib just to say you've got to do it, but ultimately it's the only way to do it. But really, I would also look at any mental blocks that are stopping the person doing it. So the question would be, what's actually stopping you from having a go at this? Okay. Let's go into that and find out what's underneath your reluctance or your fear or your doubt, and deal with those underlying things. And if we can take those away, normally the activity becomes fine.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I think trying to find out what's stopping you, that's a good question. I might even use that if you don't mind, because I think
Absolutely.
Okay, we'd love to keep chatting with you, but we're starting to run out of time. Let's end with this. If you could give a struggling trader one tip, that's it, just the one tip, what would it be?
The one tip I would give to traders, and it's worth repeating, and because we've said it already, is you've really got to get your trading mindset right as soon as possible, and certainly before you risk any more money or even damage your trading self-confidence. And don't assume you can just fight through. There's no need to, and you'll be successful faster if you concentrate on getting your mindset in the right place first.
Okay.
Ideally with a coach. And in my case, I hope I can just mention this, Ray, at rightmindtrader.com, I offer a free 30-minute trading behavior analysis session for people to give them that opportunity to experience working with a coach. And it isn't a sales pitch, it's a coaching session for 30 minutes focused on analyzing their behavior and giving them an opportunity to get some advice, get some support from a professional. That's 30 minutes, totally free. And if anybody wants to take advantage of that, it's rightmindtrader.com/TBA. That's the link.
Okay. Liz, I'm actually going to put this MP3 recording on my blog so that my readers can access it. Could I ask you just to drop me a line, and then I can just put the link there so they can actually go to it? It's a really generous offer. So I want to make sure that they get the URL correct.
Yeah, absolutely sure. There's no problem. I'll drop that to you, no problem.
Okay. One other thing, Liz, as you know, I'm on your mailing list. I noticed you had something coming up in the near future. The only problem for this part of the world is that I think it's 1:30 UK time or something, which is going to be out of our time zone. Will you be recording that?
Yes, so I'm putting together a new webinar, which eventually will be accessible as a recording. We're going to run it live several times so that we can fine tune it and make sure it does what we want it to do for people. But after that, it will be available to people. So yeah, that's certainly something that other people can make use of.
Well,
and of
perhaps,
course, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, perhaps when you send me the email with your free 30-minute coaching, you might include some details of that, so where people can register. In the event that they can't attend, they let you know, and they'll be just let you know that they're looking for the recording. That might be, or of course, if you can record it for our time of the world, like this time is about 4 o'clock our time. It's 10 o'clock. You know, we're normally available a couple of hours later. That would, I'm sure people would rather attend live than a recording, but it's just that the time zone doesn't quite fit. Anyway, I'll leave that with you. If you could just include some details in your email, I'll put that on the blog as well. It's obviously on this podcast.
Great, that's fantastic, and thank you very much for the support there, Ray.
No problem at all, Liz. Well, best of luck, and next time you have a podcast or a webinar that suits my time zone, I'll be the first one there, mate. You take it easy.
Thanks very much indeed for your confidence.
Okay.
Okay, bye for now.